p.m., airing on 1010 a.m. and the 1010 XL app. The Gators have a big one in the O-Dome tomorrow night at 8:30, hosting the 20th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. Tune in on 92.5 FM as the Gators try to make it 9 in a row. It's 79 degrees at 2 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Hope the guys of XL Primetime, hope they're dry at this point in time. But yeah, we have some rain on the first coast, but I feel like an old person when I say we needed it.
Yeah, we need the rain.
We do need the rain, right?
Those weeds growing.
There's literally like a point in your life where you understand how valuable rain is, and that's when you know you're old.
How's that song go? Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey, whiskey makes my baby get frisky.
That's
or something
right.
like that. Yeah, see?
Get a little
frisky.
That's
really important.
Yeah,
right. Tequila makes it even better. So
that is one Luke Bryan. There are definitely lots of country songs about tequila too. I could list them for you. But yeah, happy Friday, everybody, and it's Rumble Friday. There's a women's basketball game tonight at JU as JU plays host to UNF, and then tomorrow night at UNF. UNF plays host to JU, so the Rumble back-to-back nights, very exciting tomorrow night in men's basketball. So that led me to ask you all this question: what are the best sporting events in Jacksonville? You don't have to prioritize them in a list, but I would say we're going to take the Jaguars games off the option, right? Off the table. Not an option, because everyone's going to say Jaguars games, especially a home playoff game that we've had a few times. That would be number one in the city. But so what's your next one?
I think the next one, not specifically for me, but I think what it does in the city and for the city is Florida, Georgia.
All right.
I've never been to an actual game. I've tailgated for the games and hung out. But
we got to get you in that stadium.
I know, and I know I'd have a blast if I make it into the stadium.
That, but also it's going to be a few years now because
that's
it's going to go Atlanta.
With all the construction.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I just think, I mean, we talk about, you know, they don't like us to say it, but the largest cocktail party, and it's days long. It's a whole event. It's not like here's a game that's 4 hours and you go and you leave. It's a multi-day event that turns into
all throughout the
people
week.
bringing through the whole week of bringing your RVs in and everybody kind of getting, and two big rivalries like getting together and partying for a while and then watching a football game, which usually we've seen a lot of good games here. We've seen not a lot of good games here, but I feel like no matter what, that Florida-Georgia rivalry will always be big. And so I think the game will always be that.
Listen, I've told you before, my friend Robbie, he's got an RV. He's a big Gator fan. He's a Gator alum, of course, and he waits in line on Sunday and then on Tuesday to get in. He gets a spot with his other guys, Master Chief, his friend Eric, who's a Georgia fan. But it's a nonstop party. I mean, it's like Mardi Gras. It's so much fun. I mean, it's great because I've stayed like Tuesday, Wednesday night, sometimes Thursday. Christine will come down on Friday. We'll spend the night Friday night. And it just gets day by day. It gets crazier and crazier and crazier.
More crowded as the
it's so much fun. And everyone's having a good time. And then I shouldn't say most, but at least our group doesn't go to the game, but has it on the TV right there, right outside the stadium, having a blast, continuing the party. And then it's like you're enemies for the game. And then after the game, everybody's partying again and having a good time. But it is so much fun. It took Christina probably 5 or 6 years to go to RV City with me. And I was like, babe, you're missing out. It's the funnest time. It's like just crazy. It's like Mardi Gras. Anyway, I brought her on a Friday and it went off like crazy. And she's like, this is awesome. I'm like, I know, I would tell you. It is so much fun. So good call on that one.
It's a good one. Yeah.
It's a good one.
I think that's second too. And especially I've never tailgated and then not gone in the game, but obviously having gone to Florida, wanting to go to every Florida game I can get my hands on. So when it's in our backyard, I love going.
I think by the time they get to the game, they just want to sit there and not move. They've been eating and drinking for 5-6 nights in a row.
And that's it. You can just walk through and people are like, here, are you hungry? Here's chicken and here's this. And do you want a shot? We have Jell-O shots. And there's this. So the first time I ever went, I didn't really, I heard about it, but I didn't quite know what the experience would be like in the sense of, can I just walk up to somebody's tailgate and hang out, or what is that going to look like? So we kind of had our Yeti cups that we made of our drink, and we were just walking around seeing if we'd run into every other like every other RV or tent or whatever set up was stopping us for something. Like, and we didn't know these people. They were just like, hey, do you want to play cornhole? Do you want a jello shot? Do you want this? We barely made it through the first round without being like, I was like, oh, okay, well, I need a water now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great time.
They've got those too.
Yeah,
so
they do
fun.
have waters everywhere. And I mean, I think the game's great. The environment's great.
The game's so awesome because it's literally the fans are split right down the middle.
You see the orange and blue and you see the red and black, and it's like a divided sea
and it's
rivalry.
Obviously even more fun when both teams are good.
Yeah.
That doesn't always happen. That's not always the case.
Right.
But I would say, if you've never been to RV City or if you've never been to the marina and on some of those yachts, I mean, they go all out decorating wise. A lot of times it's around Halloween. So you've also got that added measure into it. Yeah, RV City is an absolute
so much
blast.
fun.
And there's
that whole
kids
thing.
there too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like there's golf. Now everybody brings their golf carts in addition to their RV.
They have a parade
Right
in
around.
RV City on Friday night. I think it's cool. The vehicles, those big tired ones, that bounce, like just all types of vehicles. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, since we mentioned college football, I'll throw Tax Slayer Gator Bowl in with the Florida Georgia game.
Okay.
Because it is a huge college football game. Obviously, the bowl system has changed over the last few years, but I can tell you my grandparents went to the Gator Bowl every single year for many, many years. They had all their ticket stubs because it was the place to be, usually around New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and the opponents matter a lot in that one, but I still think it's a cool event. Obviously, I remember that a few years ago was Notre Dame, South Carolina. That was huge. I mean, it was sold out. It was the same kind of environment. The entire parking lots were full of tailgaters. Same thing. You could walk around and everybody was grilling out and making whatever, and it felt like the environment there was a lot of Gamecock fans. I was joking because I was like, I've never heard the word cock so much walking through because that's all they yell at you the whole entire time. But and the game was good, so it was like South Carolina was kind of winning by a lot. Notre Dame pulled back and ended up winning, and so when you have good games, that helps too. But there's definitely been some really good matchups that we've had at the Gator Bowl, even in recent years, that you really wouldn't have expected, and it's a cool conversation to have throughout the year too of like, who may they get in this year's Gator Bowl, and you're kind of waiting for certain teams to lose or win or whatever the case may be down the stretch to get that. And it is one of the more highly talked about bowl games too, so that's a cool thing to have in Jacksonville.
Yeah, prestigious for the city of Jacksonville. It's been a great bowl.
We had the ACC championship one year too, many years ago now, but I wonder if
BC
something like
played in that with Matt Ryan. Virginia Tech, maybe they
Virginia
beat.
Tech.
I remember that. That was a great game.
It was a good
Lamar
game.
was here one year.
Lamar was here in
Yeah,
the Gator
yeah,
Bowl.
Lamar was here
That's
for the
when I
Gator
saw
Bowl.
him throw 5 interceptions and thought he was going to be a terrible quarterback in the NFL. I was wrong.
Get an off day.
I was wrong.
Get an off day.
But I would put the Players Championship, which we're going to have in just a couple weeks, I would put that right up there. Also a week-long thing. People descend upon Jacksonville from all over the world.
Yeah.
And we say it all the time, if you've never been to the Players, you've probably just moved here because almost everyone that's from Jacksonville has been to the Players Championship. Because it's just so much fun. It's usually a gorgeous day. The course is beautiful. You get to see some of the biggest golfers, biggest names in the sport of golf. And usually there's, to your point about partying, there's usually a party somewhere around.
Well, and you get to see a lot of people you don't see throughout the year. Like you'll just run into people from all over Jacksonville that maybe you don't get a chance to run into at other events. I was going to say Players, but for me, like Fridays at the Players was always rocking. You had to get there by happy hour, forget the golf, wouldn't even pay attention to the golf, who made the cut or nothing. But it was just the happy hour. It was a great environment, a lot of fun, good energy, good networking, all that fun
Now the fun
stuff.
starts at like 8 a.m. on Friday.
No, I know. And what's great, like you said, the whole week from Tuesday, the military appreciation, of course, Ludacris. Wednesday, the practice where all the kids go out and the families and they get to rub elbows and take pictures, and then it starts. I tell you what, I was just thinking while you guys were talking, maybe one of the if not the most single greatest thing that happened in one of those events was on that. I'll never forget it. As many of you listen, you guys were watching or there too. Standing on the hill at 17 on Saturday, and Tigers got that gigantic putt. And I remember me and Cheever sitting and we're like, gosh, can you hurry up? And like, I think we both had to take a leak or something, drinking all that beer. And he made that shot. It was like a 30, 40 foot. Remember that? It was unbelievable putt. And the plate, it was packed because Tiger, of course.
So Tiger watch.
Holy cow, the place erupted. And I remember we just couldn't stop just screaming like, oh my God. I couldn't believe he made the putt because it was so far away. And it did like this S kind of circle thing down and then plunk right into the cup, and the place went wild. That had to have been one of the, aside from the Jags and all that.
Probably one of the loudest times we've ever had at a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Outside of like the Waste Management Phoenix Open where they encourage the loudness. Obviously also the River City Rumble, like I started the show with tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight women's at JU, tomorrow night men's at UNF. That's an underrated sporting event in our town. I feel like some people, obviously, who went to JU or UNF, they understand. But if you aren't, if neither of those schools are where you went to school and you haven't been to either of those gyms, whether it's Swisher or whether it's UNF Arena, you don't know how bitter that rivalry is.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, especially before the transfer portal too, like they have played against each other year in and year out and battled, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, and that's one we talk about constantly on both sides, obviously the men and the women. So you get a double dose of that River City Rumble, and then you get the baseball version of it too. So you have kind of like this extra dose of that rivalry and city rivalry, which is really cool. And I think that I will be attending my first one tomorrow, so I'm excited to kind of see the experience of that. But I do think that sports in general have grown here. We have a couple newer ones that I would throw in there, and I think the Jacksonville Baseball Classic is one of those. I saw, and it's technically not teams here. Sometimes I guess they will be, but like Florida teams, as in that. But UCF being here this year, and we have the Seminoles, the Florida State baseball. So those two events, to me, I think have done really well, and the times that I've been have been a blast. And that's another. I mean, college baseball fans are serious about their college baseball team, so that's one. And then obviously I'm going to give love to the Icemen, because I think that if you've been to an Iceman game, the experience is fantastic. But then I'm going to kind of pivot that into playoff hockey. And they've been, I guess, unfortunate to have to face the Everblades pretty much every single year, who's one of the best ECHL teams. But that rivalry has grown so much. Like, if you ask an Iceman fan, they hate the Florida Everblades. And so that has grown within this, since the Iceman came here, and I believe it was 2018. And so that, if you go to an Iceman Everblades game just in the season, it's already intense. But go and playoff hockey when those two teams are playing, and you're seeing 12 to 14,000 people in that arena cheering, chanting against their goalie. It's such a good time, and I think that's something that's going to continue to grow too. The longer the Icemen are here, and the more familiar people become with hockey, also. Yeah,
and it's family friendly. I mean, in between the hockey is fun in the stands and whatnot. Listen, the Sharks are fun. I know I don't think they had a really good year this past season, but.
Usually they do.
They do. I mean, that arena football is fun to watch. It's high flying. It's nice family fun. There's a lot of scoring, a lot of big plays. It's a good thing. You're right there too. You're right on top of everything.
So many options for that, right? Like the Jumbo Shrimp to the now Sporting Jacks to the Iceman to the Sharks. Like, if you like sports, this is a great place to live.
You got a lot to offer. And throw in high school and those rivalries and everything that basketball, baseball, even obviously football, but. Yeah, man, there's a lot of sports to go around. Rugby.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. The Axemen.
The Axemen. We love them. Yep.
The Florida State game that you mentioned, Taylor, the one that's in Jacksonville, because they play once in Gainesville, once in Tallahassee, and then once here in Jacksonville. That one comes up March 24th. We just got our tickets for that. And I splurged for the family because we're in the PNC home plate area.
Nice.
So you get the food and drinks in addition to the really good seats, which are these like super
comfortable,
nice
squishy seats. Yeah.
Yeah. I say I splurged. My dad splurged too. We both splurged.
Thanks, Dad.
But
Very nice.
We got to sit in them last year, but it was before we had access to the food because they were just finishing those renovations to the ViStar ballpark. And that is a heated rivalry too.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah. It is an absolute blast. So like I said, that comes up Tuesday, March 24th. I'll also throw in fishing tournaments. We have the old school Kingfish Shootout, the Kingfish Tournament, the River
Flounder
Run.
Pounder.
That's right, Flounder Pounder.
That is the funniest term to me.
Yeah, El Cheapo is another one, the Sheepshead Tournament. That's this upcoming weekend. The River Run, that's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I love doing that. We're doing that this year. The Donna Marathon.
Yeah.
So if people want to participate in sporting events, they can as well.
Something that does really well, it's not really in my wheelhouse, but a lot of my friends love it and people in this building, and that's AEW, which Tony Khan has brought here to Jacksonville. I mean, I have friends obsessed with AEW. And wrestling, when I was like 9 9 or 10, I kind of liked wrestling, and then they had like Celebrity Deathmatch. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I loved like that era, but then I stopped. The wrestling people love their wrestling, and AEW has done a fantastic job in that. And so being able to bring those events here too, and everybody tells me like go to one and you'll actually, get a little bit probably more excited than just trying to watch something on TV. But that's another one, and that's something that even during COVID, I remember like the world shut down, and that was something that there were several AEW events
UFC
here in Jacksonville and UFC.
Remember,
so those type of things, we definitely have the city that will go to sporting. You bring sporting events here, and we're going to.
And then throwing all the entertainment. How could anybody ever say anything negative about our city? They don't know at all. Like, we just ripped off a ton of stuff, and we didn't even include the entertainment side, or the restaurants or the food or anything. They're just a bunch of jackass. I swear, they just want to put us down it's still from the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
the media ripped us. We weren't ready to host the Super Bowl. We weren't. If you need ships in the in the river to house people, you're just not ready
Probably
for
not
it.
prepared.
I'm glad we had it. It was still cool.
It was awesome.
Everything was fun and great, but the media ripped it. The food stunk. The travel was tough. Nowhere to they had us way out where we because there's no hotels downtown. So I think that still overflows today, which it shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you spend any quality time in Jacksonville, your mind would be changed instantly.
I always say if you hate Jacksonville, like
move.
You don't have
leave.
to live here.
We don't need
but
you.
also come on a boat one weekend and go up and down the intercoastal or go to the beach or like the St. John's River. Yeah. If you like water, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you hate water, then maybe you hate Jacksonville.
You're probably in the wrong city if you
play
hate water.
Some of the best golf you can play.
For sure.
Come on. It's everything. They got everything here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Todd. There's our love fest for Jacksonville. Sporting
Happy
events for
Friday.
Jacksonville.
Cheers.
That's right. We'll get it to the Combine when we return. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels from the Greenlaw Group Studios. 1010XL covers the Players' Championship start to finish. Track your favorite golfers and get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Green Acres Sporting Goods, Performance Painting, and Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $5,000 per ounce, and silver is over $100 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold and silver for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Written by Bowden Iron Associates.
What Baltimore Orioles player received a 22-minute standing ovation?
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowners policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Cal Ripken holds the record of playing 2,632 consecutive games. On his final game, the Oriole great received a 22-minute standing ovation.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Every day is game day on Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony break it down from every angle. Roster moves, matchups, league trends, and the pulse of Duval. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Custom windows and doors. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Golf for a great cause. It's the UNF 4 Scholarship Golf Classic, Friday, March 27th at Queens Harbor. Support the Swoop Impact Fund with a sponsorship or foursome. Contact jc.wegner@unf.edu.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service.
Instant Keys comes to you.
Hacker here. We're rolling towards March, and for most people, that just means better weather and more golf. For me, 2 years ago, this time of year was a life changer. Honestly, it felt like a lifesaver. That's when I started Awaken 180, and in 1 month, I was down 35 pounds. 2 months, 50 pounds. And no, it wasn't magic. It wasn't some miracle shot. I tried the meds. I tried the cutting carbs. I tried convincing myself I was fine. None of it stuck. Awaken 180 wasn't a trick. It was a solution, a real plan, a coach who didn't let me drift, and the weight just melted off. That's the only way I can describe it. And here's the best part that matters. It stayed off. I'm not bracing for it to come back. I've kept my 122 pounds off for well over a year, and it stayed gone. Have 35 to lose? Cakewalk. 50? Simple. If March for you is just another month, fine. But it could be your turning point. It was mine. Awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
We can't talk until we hear rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey, right?
You're on it today,
Yeah, I know.
buddy.
Get
You
it,
are
RJ.
on it. I tell you what, he was on it earlier, and he's on it today. RJ spinning the great tunes.
Absolutely. Great job, RJ. Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you as we cruise to this Friday afternoon. All right, talking about some combine numbers that we looked at yesterday. When it comes to the edge rushers, you want to pay attention to the vertical jump.
Yes.
Surprisingly, the best vertical jump of the edge rushers was a guy that I feel like most people aren't that familiar with unless you're a Florida fan, in George Gums Jr. He had a 41-inch vertical. Of course, Sonny Styles in the linebacker category or position group had a 43.5-inch vertical, but we learned don't pay that close of attention to the combine numbers for the linebacker category, or the linebacker position group, I should say. But, of course, the biggest story I feel like that's coming out about the edge rushers is the fact that Reuben Bain and Cassius Howell, their arm length was shorter than what is preferred.
Yeah.
Yep.
You talk
see that
about the
stat?
long, the other players you're talking about? Like,
well, earlier today, we were talking about this on Jaguars Today, and Dempsey brought up a stat. He's like, do you realize in the past 25 years, any edge rusher that was less than 31 inches in arm length never had double-digit sacks? Like 25 years. Now, granted, you'd be like, well, yeah, I'd take 9, but maybe not as a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
You know, you're expecting some big-time production. Look, I don't know. We measured ours in the I just wanted to have an idea. So Demps was 33 and an eighth, and I was 32 and a quarter. I think we did it right. We did it the point to your tip of your middle finger, I think is how they did it. So, you know, you think about just mine, 32. So he's almost like an inch and a half shorter. I don't know what that, you know, if it's that big of a deal, but when you see that stat, it's hard as someone in the personnel department to overlook that. Now, how do you combat it? Is he ultra fast? Is he ultra violent with his hands like Aaron Darnold, who, by the way, had almost 33-inch length, but they consider that a little short, which is crazy. But nonetheless, you got to be able to, you know, combat that a little bit. Will it knock him down? It probably will. I don't know. I don't think it should a ton because it's right under. It's 30 7/8. So it's like an eighth below 31. By the way, Micah Parsons is at like 30.
He has shorter arms too.
Like 31 and a half, 32. So you can, doesn't mean you can't rush the passer. Doesn't mean you can't be a great player. The difference is Micah stands up, Bain's down in the ground. So that might be a problem when he's at first reaching out, you know, from his three-point stance, trying to get his hands on that offensive line. Well, if that offensive lineman's hands are quicker and they're longer, guess who's going to win that battle? Now, can he have superior lower body strength and power through things? Is he ultra quick on a second move? Maybe. You know, I don't know. I haven't watched enough tape. But you do have to, it does, you know, it raises a flag. Like for me, a quarterback with smaller hands. Now, that doesn't mean he can't throw it. But the ball is bigger in the NFL. You go grab a real NFL ball. You're like, dang, this thing's like a big balloon. And then you grab the college ball. You grab the college ball. You're like, that's not whip that around all day long. So, those things, some of those things we may think they're not important, but when you hear stats like that, you got to pay attention to it.
That's why Urban Meyer went and stood right by Trevor Lawrence during his pro day. Remember that? And he was like, I want to be able to hear the ball come out of his hands. And I understand you want as much information as you can.
Yeah.
Does this mean Ruben Bain's not going to get drafted in the top 10? I highly doubt that he's going to fall out of the top 10 because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I mean, I think just put on the film and I mean, that's what we talk about all the time is the NFL is a different animal than college football, but he was a very, very good pass rusher in college football and a very natural pass rusher. And you don't see that often. You talk about, we had a whole conversation yesterday about the counter move of, Trayvon Walker, what has been the issue of not being able to get that side of things. And I mentioned, well, maybe because in college that they moved him around so much and he wasn't having to focus and develop on that one aspect of his game. Ruben Bain has spent his college career rushing the passer, learning these counter moves, doing some of that thing, working on the balance when it comes to that side. And so I think you have this long list of boxes that you need checked for these position groups, and that's one of them because I remember we had a whole conversation. I remember one time, Lauren, right before the draft with Jeff Lageman, and Jeff Lageman went into detail of why that arm length is so important in certain aspects of the game. And so it's true that it does factor into certain things. But I also think if you have 10 boxes you need checked and you have 9 of 10 and one you're not checking is arm length, then you might take a risk on the guy. And I think that because of what you've seen from raw talent on film, you lean into that.
The film will override everything. Now, look, no disrespect to the ACC, but there's only a few schools that are really good in our conference.
Yeah.
Boston, they were in the same conference. How did he do against the real big teams?
They went to the national championship.
No, I know, but how did he do personally in his one-on-one matchups?
I'd want to know, honestly, about practice because you know who one of the best tackles is in the National Football League? It's Francis Mauigoa, who's opposite of, when they're at practice, obviously. So that's where I would want to go talk to Mario Cristobal and figure out what did Ruben Bain look like against him.
If they went full speed. Like full speed, and again, he's a really good player. I'm not knocking him out. I just like to see where that production, how we performed. I know as a defense, they performed very well for the most part in the playoffs, shutting guys down, especially early on. But how did he do one-on-one? How was he against some of the better players? And that's what they'll look at.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what they want to see. How did you perform? I'll tell you this. I don't know if this makes sense to you guys, but for me, I want to see your worst plays first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you react in a game when you're maybe got blocked 2 plays in a row, or maybe you're just having an off game? Are you still fighting through it? Are you still coming up with something? Showing me your good stuff. I would expect it to be good, right? I mean, you're being looked at. Your film should look unbelievable. The highlights should look unbelievable. That's why they call them highlights.
Yeah, but your low lights, how low are they?
How low are they, and how do you respond from those low
And
lights?
if your team was getting blown out, which obviously that's not the case with Miami this past season, but there are times that you've got really talented players on teams that aren't that good overall. How did they react if their team was down by 2 or 3 touchdowns?
Right, are they still fighting and clawing?
Exactly, yeah. You'd want to look at that, too.
Those things matter.
It doesn't apply to Miami because they didn't get blown out.
Yeah,
all
they
the season.
didn't have
But
to
yeah,
do
Mauigoa is 6'6". So again, if they did go one-on-one against each other in practice full speed, you would want to know how Bain did against someone like him, since obviously that's the elite of the elite. But yeah, I don't know how many teams Miami faced this year that has an offensive tackle that's going to play in the league at a high level.
No, right. You just got to look at it. I mean, Notre Dame obviously has got some players throughout the playoffs. You look at that.
Florida has some offensive linemen that will play in the league, but I don't know that they'll be starters.
You never know.
Go definitely.
Yeah,
will be
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I was just going to say, just because his arms are an 1/8 inch shorter than 31 does not mean he's not a hell of a football player. But will it affect him? Probably depends on the team and how they look at that. But it does look, because of the history, and it's not a small sample size. 25 years is a long time.
Yeah.
You got to definitely make sure the other boxes are almost double checked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally understand. All right, up in Indianapolis, Aditi Kinkabawala was hanging out with Fernando Mendoza, and she asked him about the oddest interaction he's had at the Combine, and here was his answer.
What was the one most bizarre question you got?
One about, hey, I don't know what I can say this. It was, hey, maybe you should get arrested. And I was like, I was a little confused, but then it was like the slide. So hopefully I don't get arrested.
I don't get that one.
So you can slide in the draft.
Can you tell us who said that?
It was not one of the teams I had a formal interview with, so I'm not going to. I don't want to expose the team.
At least we know it wasn't the Jaguars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
At least
they
from
were
the
not
head
asking
coach,
those
the GM.
questions.
Yeah, but
Give it time.
At first, I thought it was about Scotty Scheffler. Like, I thought it was a Scotty Scheffler joke because Scheffler had been arrested, right?
Oh.
And then I remembered realized about, sliding in the draft. Whatever team it was is not picking near the top.
Yeah.
But obviously that team doesn't have a quarterback.
That's what I was trying to think of who. That's not. I mean, you could slide a little bit, I guess, and it wasn't a formal, so it's not going to be like the Jets because I'm guessing you would still get that out of there. So I'm trying to think of like what deeper down the draft. Like, I mean, the Jets, that Indy gave up their pick, so it's not many Vikings. Maybe Minnesota was like, do you want to slide a little bit down? Miami at 11, maybe they said it.
He wouldn't go that. It depends what the charge is.
Yeah. Well,
Pulling Laramie Tunsil.
I was trying to figure it out too, though. I was like, slide. And at first, I thought it was when he said get arrested. I thought it was just more so like we need a little bit more like toughness out of
what I
you.
thought.
You know, that's what I thought it meant at first.
A little bit more. Spend the night in jail.
Sweat. Yeah.
Get beat up or something. I don't know.
He's one of those like. Does he remind you a little bit of Tebow as far as the like goody two shoes type of thing? And that term always sounds so negative. I don't mean it as a negative, but just like squeaky clean.
Yeah,
like, doesn't
he
seem
gives
like
me
that type of
very
guy?
Kirk Cousins vibes. Is what he gives me.
Yeah, there you go.
Like kind of, and Tebow's like that. Like obviously very faith driven and like very. You knew he was good. Yeah,
Tim was polarizing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He was,
no doubt.
And you get that vibe, but Kirk just has that kind of like. Mendoza already gives off that like cheesy dad vibes, and he's a kid, not a kid, but a young man, and that's what I get from Kirk Cousins. So I could they remind me of each other a lot.
Yeah, I listen. If I'm the Raiders, I'm excited to have him.
Sure,
I think he's got a big future. He's got a big arm, big kid. He's shown that he's tough. It looks like he's smart. He's a little goofy, but give him a couple years in the NFL and. Especially out in Vegas. His mama better go with him. Be like that movie Devil's Advocate.
Fremont.
Or like Jaden Daniels' mom.
Yeah, right.
She still follows him everywhere.
Yeah.
Keep mom close.
It'll be fascinating to see this quarterback class because obviously it's Mendoza and then a huge gap in terms of what the NFL draft experts believe. And so do any of the other quarterbacks end up becoming good starters?
Yeah.
I think Ty's got a chance.
And I'm hearing a lot of people say that there's like the thoughts on Ty have started to grow the last couple of weeks is what I'm hearing out of the combine. And I don't think it's a situation where the Jets take him at 2, but the Jets they got Indy's pick at 16. So do they do something like that at 16 and take a chance on Ty Simpson? I wouldn't be completely shocked.
Is he throwing at the combine, Ty?
I think he did announce he was. Yes, he did. I remember saying
I wouldn't if I'm Mendoza. There's no point. Why even bother?
Correct.
But everybody else, I'll be like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm throwing. Let me show you what I got. Be interesting that I see where is it Pavia? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Diego Pavia.
Pavia. Yeah, he's making some noise just by like his attitude and confidence. And wait till you see me throw on Saturday. So I might have to check it out on Saturday when the quarterbacks throw.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch.
It is. Yeah.
Remember Diego Pavia is the one that at the Heisman.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Ceremony wasn't too
bumped
pleased.
the voters.
Yeah.
With capitals.
Yes, there you have it.
Way to go, son. Way to go.
If you could only interview one person in a draft prospect's life, who would it be? We'll discuss that next. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 10 to Nix on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Protected by
Green Law Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
It's a Helmets and Heels
Bowden Eye and Associates.
Friday.
The road to March runs through Jacksonville. The 2026 Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball tournament is coming to VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Catch all 24 Division I basketball programs in action March 3rd through 9th. Reserve your seat today at asunsports.org/tickets. Jacksonville is the destination for ASUN basketball. Get your tickets to the 2026 Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball tournament today. asunsports.org/tickets.
The Florida Forum welcomes world-renowned chef and humanitarian Jose Andres at the Center for Performing Arts March 31st. His impact spans the globe as founder of World Central Kitchen, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and global leader using food as a force for change. All proceeds for the Florida Forum benefit the Women's Board of Wilson Children's Hospital, supporting a new outdoor play area for behavioral health services. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Lauren Brooks here. If you think Closets by Design is just closets, you have got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips and Emerson. It is amazing what they can do. So go see for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and your budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant today and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start it all at closetsbydesign.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Did you know your roof ages from the inside out? By the time you see a leak, damage already exists beneath the shingles. Sun exposure, humidity, and seasonal storms slowly weaken roofing materials over time. If your roof is 15 years old or more, then now is the time to start planning, not reacting. At Endless Summer Roofing, we provide professional inspections and clear guidance so you can make informed decisions. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com to schedule a free inspection. Endless Summer Roofing, protecting your home from Florida's endless summer.
Shoot your shot on Prize Picks. Hicken here and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right, Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. All kinds of great features on Prize Picks, too, like stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So, like, hey, Steph Curry, points, 3-pointers, assists. Now you can pick them all in the same lineup, only on Prize Picks. But remember, you got to download the Prize Picks app today. Use code 1010XL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right, but you must put in code 1010XL and you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's all on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, man. It's good to be right.
Hi, I'm Eric Mann with the First Coast YMCA. Thanks to the players, we're helping individuals and families grow stronger through youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. 11 days until the players.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. If you could only interview one person in a draft prospect's life, who would it be? So we had family night dinner at my parents' house last night, and I introduced this question to them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we kicked it around because everyone obviously has a different idea. My initial instinct answer was ex-girlfriend, because the ex-girlfriend would be able to tell you some of the downside of the former boyfriend. But you would have to make sure that the
not
ex-girlfriend, didn't, but also that she didn't know like who's or why that person's interviewing them, right? Like you would want to have like just the casual conversation and be like, oh, tell me about your last boyfriend.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Yeah. But everyone was like, no, that's the worst possible person to interview.
Well, she may be jilted. And then she'd be like, say a lot of negative things about him. You know?
Yeah. It would have to be like an amicable split up. And then you really could ascertain a lot of good information. But JJ's answer was the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the mom's gonna be slighted.
So
She's going to give him good stuff.
My first is probably like almost too obvious, but to me, I feel like your high school coach
And that's
is
what
the
a lot of the family
biggest.
members said.
Because number one, that high school coach, you spend more time, a lot of time with your coaches than you do your family or your teachers in high school than you do with your actually family, especially if you're playing sports. You go to school at 7 a.m. in high school. By the time you're done with practice and home, it's dinner time. You eat dinner, do homework, and go to bed. So during your high school years, a lot of the time you're spending are with your coaches over your mom and dad or even brothers and sisters, unless you go to school with your brothers and sisters, obviously. And then those coaches for a lot of kids in general become like moms and dads. So you do have that personal level of things that grow into it. And then you also, I feel like they'd be more open to being honest because they don't have that like, it's my kid or I can't hurt him in that sense. Like I've heard many high school coaches being like, though, like he couldn't pass this class, so I had to do this, and like that's why he ended up having to go through all of these things to make sure he could stay on the football field. They're very open and sharing some of like the difficulties that the students go through, and then how hard they work to get over those or not get over those. And then you also get the football sense out of that too, of how hard they worked on the field and how good of a locker room guy they were. And when you lost by 20, how did they react compared to when you won by 20? And I don't think any other person gives you all aspects of that.
Great answers. I'm not going to say teacher. I wouldn't want to find out about that. But I will say in that kind of vein, though, you know, I know it's cliche too, but I was just thinking about it. Like, who would know all the personalities here?
Right.
Who would be that one person that's just kind of around, that hears everything, sees everything? And my answer would be Richie. Richie, who does all the IT. So I would think of like a high school.
He does all of everything.
Maintenance. Yeah, he does everything.
Yeah.
Maintenance, sound, everything.
Okay.
Maintenance guy, you know, like, and on top of his football coaches, talk to the other high school coaches of other sports. So, because those athletes will tell that coach how that athlete
what
is
he said to me
over
or whatever.
time.
Yeah.
Right. Like, how does he treat everybody? Because that's what you really want to find out, you know. And look, you know, do you definitely mature from high school. I know I did. You know, so you don't you only give it a little bit, but you do if you're going character,
right?
That you can get a lot out of that. You go to the person that, like, even a high school coach, depending on who he is, like, he may slight it a little because it looks good for him too
sure.
if he goes.
Yep.
But he might not. He might be like, no, be an honest guy. I don't know. You know, really. Look, I'll give you an example. My brother Mike's high school, his coach did nothing for the seniors, like zero. Part of the reason I didn't want to go there, my coach has sent out 300 letters on my and 3 other teammates' behalf to different schools. I mean, that was when you sent letters, you know, and it was like, what a difference, you know? So, but they did want us to succeed, but I think Coach Benedetto would have given it to, you know, anybody straight if they asked him. But
I think sibling is another one because you just mentioned your brother. Like, especially if you are close in age to a sibling. Like, there's nobody at least in high school, outside of my best friends, that would have known me as well as my brother did. Living with me every day, seeing all the times that I was a brat.
Yeah. Another good one, I think, is the strength coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they work out? And what's their attitude when they're tired? You know, what's their attitude when they really don't feel like working out? You know, when they're ups, they're downs. They're one of those people that sees it all. You may not think about it, but they interact almost daily.
Yeah, I'm jealous. We never had a strength coach in high school.
No?
No.
Yeah.
We never went in the weight room for soccer whatsoever.
Really?
Yes. Isn't that, it's frustrating now looking back.
Yeah. We did. We had it wasn't a big weight room.
Football had it.
No, but other sports would be in there.
And
I know Mandarin had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I remember the
like it was a
swimmers.
requirement for the girl athletes to take like weightlifting as one of their electives and everything in high school.
I would have loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
And now today there's class weightlifting.
Yes.
Like it's part of the curriculum in some high schools.
Yeah.
Like that'd be awesome.
Heck yeah.
What's your elective? Weightlifting?
Way better than home ec.
Well, it depends.
I liked home ec.
One day that story's just
Depends
going
what
to be
you're
told.
cooking. Depends what you're
God.
cooking,
Sure.
right?
It sounds like a drug joke for a second.
That's right.
I'm just gonna.
My home ec class was fun, but we cooked a lot, and I know like other home ecs you hear you learn to sew and like set the tables and do kind of all of that stuff. And our home ec was pretty much all cooking, which was cool. The problem was it was my first period, so it was like 7:15 in the morning, and we were making like lasagna at 7:15. I'm like, that's not what I want.
School should never start at 7:15 in the morning, especially
early.
for high school. That's
Unless you get out early. I'd rather get out early.
I can
That's what we were
understand.
out at 3, so
Yeah.
you had your day, and if you had a job, you had time to go to your job. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
But some of it was early.
We were 8 to 2:30 in high school.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, you barely got to go to school.
Talk about not going to school. Kids these days. I feel like they're off every other day. All right, more to do on the other side. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 10 to next on 2.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels. Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. 1010XL. Home of the Florida Gators.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Bowden Iron Associates. Helmets and Heels Friday.
It's time to upgrade your ride and trade in your Tesla for luxury with a brand new Cadillac EV.
At Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, we have over 30 Cadillac EVs to choose from.
Feel the power of instant torque and enjoy the range that takes you farther.
You love your Tesla, but it's time to elevate your ride.
Trade in your Tesla today at Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.com.
You pick the color and drive away today.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 27th, 2012, Kobe Bryant breaks Michael Jordan's record for career points scored in the All-Star game, finishing with 27 points and setting the new record at 271.
Bro, have you heard about the hottest and newest sports league in town?
Vanguard Sports League isn't just VIP, it's the standard. Smoke-filled tunnel intros, cool benches with canopies, big scoreboards, championship rings, and convenient locations all across Jacksonville. Oh, and Mascot Potty's there hyping everyone up every game. No wonder it's the talk of the town. Spring and summer registration now open.
Search VanguardSportsLeague.com today.
The Jacksonville Icemen are in town for a pair of games this Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, it's Military Night, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships, as we honor our military, and the Icemen wear special themed jerseys. Then Sunday at 3, it's a Publix Family Fun Day. Take a shot on goal on the ice after the game. Tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksonvilleIcemen.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Icemen hockey is #Sub-Zero.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus, straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
Jacksonville, Lacey here from Fourscore. It's game time. The TPC is taking over the town, and we're bringing the heat. Closest to the Pin Simulator battles, drink specials, huge screens, great food, and a full bar. Hosting clients or entertaining your team, let Fourscore handle your TPC party. Private bays, full-service catering, and then straight into March Madness. We'll have bracket contests, buzzer beaters, cold beer, and the ultimate watch party vibe. San Marco or Gate Parkway, Fourscore is your headquarters. Visit fourscoregolf.com today.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street-legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit dynamicdrivesdesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
So there have been rumors basically circulating and certainly trade buzz surrounding Brian Thomas Jr. for what feels like the last couple weeks. Yesterday, a guy from up in Pittsburgh, Andrew Filipponi, he tweeted out that, and he covers the Steelers for 93.7 The Fan. He tweeted out that the Steelers have been in talks with the Jaguars about wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. The two teams discussed a deal at last year's trade deadline. This could be my belief in Brian Thomas Jr. coming through, but if the Jaguars were to trade him away, I think that would be one of the dumbest things that they could possibly do. I don't think they have another player on their roster that can do what Brian Thomas can do, and I don't believe the Jaguars are shopping him, but certainly that's what it feels like. A lot of people and a lot of national reporters have identified the needs for some teams, like the Bills, certainly being one of those, that they needed a wide receiver one. This guy could be that. If he could be that, then why the heck would the Jaguars move on from him? And look, Parker Washington's great. Jacoby Myers is great. But they don't have the speed that he has. And we all saw what he did his rookie season. Last year didn't go according to plan. But if the Jaguars were to trade him away, I feel like that would be historically dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jacoby Myers was brought in so Brian Thomas could remain outside.
Absolutely.
If you take away Brian Thomas and don't replace that, then Jacoby Myers will be out of his position and maybe Parker as well. It's too early to give up and even think about that, in my opinion. Brian Thomas Jr.'s got way too much talent. Now, I agree with Jimmy Smith. I think there needs to be a little more sense of urgency in his routes and getting off the line of scrimmage a little bit more, explosively, if you will. But no, he's what you need, and it got better when they moved him outside. And I think he'll only get better. I think we talk about how good it's going to be for Trevor, how good it's going to be for whoever. Second year in the system, doesn't have to learn it on the fly. Well, same with Brian Thomas and all the rest of the wide receivers and targets. I mean, they're going to feel the same thing. They're going to be like, yeah, I know. Now I know where to go. Now I know when the ball's coming. Now I know where it's most likely going to be. I'm feeling confident about that. So to do that, listen, now I say that my caveat is, you bring me Max Crosby somehow? I would probably do that in a heartbeat. If you're going to upgrade my defense like that, if you got to send Brian Thomas and something else for Max Crosby or a player like that, I would consider it. But no, not for draft picks, not for something in the future. You know what I mean? No, we need him. If we're going to get back to winning the division, you need Brian Thomas and playing at a high level now. It can't be at a subpar level. It's got to be at a high level. But I think with the way Liam coaches, I think with the way that Brian is, I think he wants to be great. He went through a rough spell, whatever reason, I don't know. But he rebounded, he regrouped, and he's got too much speed, too much talent to give up on him. Because that's what you'd be saying. You'd be like, you know what? We didn't draft him. We don't believe he fits here anymore. We're done. We're giving up on him. There's no way they could feel that. At least I wouldn't think they would feel that at this time.
Yeah, I feel like it would take a lot in order to move him, to your point. Like a first and something else.
Well, you might have to give a first and him to get Max Crosby.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if the Steelers are trying to get him, I think it's going to have to be a first and that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think so. I reached out to a few of the people that I know that cover the Steelers to see if they've also heard anything. And they said they haven't heard anything specifically Brian Thomas Jr., but they said the Steelers are making calls about a lot of wide receivers because that's what their number one feel that they need to get before the draft. And they'd like to try and get somebody for before the draft, whether that be, they'd rather probably not free agent because it sounds like they don't love the free agent group, but there's several guys that they've called in trades. DJ Moore is one of the ones rumored in that world too when it comes to it. So I think the one thing, number one, Jags fans and any fan hit the panic button when you hear that a team has talked. Like, teams talk. I hope you know how many times someone just picks up a phone or texts one of the coaches or whatever the case may be and is like, hey, what is the interest in this player, or what would it take to get this player? That doesn't mean they're like sitting there trying to write up a contract to see what the trade would look like exactly. They like to get the feel of things. And then sometimes it's just to get a better idea of another guy. So if they're calling to hear what the value of Brian Thomas Jr. feels like, maybe that's because they're trying to see how much of DJ Moore, how much, one of these other wide receivers that have kind of been in trade talks are about. The NFL is constantly, those are conversations that are had on a daily basis constantly. It doesn't mean that Brian Thomas Jr. is going anywhere. So,
but the Jags aren't at the combine. They can't
I was just going to say, like, you could be doing that up in Indy.
The combine's probably even more intense, honestly. The guys probably, the GMs and coaches there are probably having massive conversations and dinner conversations with each other in person about, oh, well, I have this player and you have this player, and what can we do and what's the value of this? And those are some of the benefits we've heard coming from being at the combine. But I think, so that's part of it is, I don't think you have to hit the panic button or be like, everybody's lying. Why are you lying to us? Because no, this didn't happen. These talks happen. Like, conversations are had on a daily basis in the NFL, and that doesn't mean that they're trying to ship Brian Thomas Jr. away. That means they answered a phone call because someone was interested in the value of Brian Thomas Jr. and what it would take. That is a good thing, by the way. That means that people are looking at Brian Thomas Jr. saying this guy is worth X amount in a trade and could probably be a wide receiver one on another team. So with all that being said, I think that, I don't see the Jags doing it unless it was something massive like that. Like, I think that if you're like, Max Crosby, we really feel like we need this true. I don't think they're even in that position, honestly. If they didn't have Trayvon, for example, if they had Josh Hines Allen and no one on the other side, and they're like, we really need that true pass rusher, maybe you call and you're like, hey, we'll give you a first, a third, and Brian Thomas Jr. for Max Crosby. That seems like the trade value around what's going for Max Crosby. I could see something like that being talked about because there's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft. And if you get a guy, you can get a guy who's just a deep threat in this draft. And so I think that would come up. But at this point in time, I don't think there's anything, especially with the Pittsburgh Steelers, that is in value with that. So
the Jags don't have enough good players to be.
That's what you have too many holes already, or upgrades that need to be made for you to start sending off your better players to try and we'll give you 2 picks and one of our good players for one player because you have too many holes right now that you feel like you need to fix. We talked about that percentage of the defense that's not returning at this point in time of snaps that were played last year. It's a lot. The Jags have the 5th highest in the NFL. That's too much. You can't just start sending your good players away.
Yeah, again, he's got too much upside to let it go unless it's a crazy deal. And I want to see him in year 2 in Liam's offense. And I want to see him and Trevor connect. Like, one thing that as a team, they need to be better at is deep throws, like big bombs down the field to really put daggers in teams. They have the talent to do it. There's no doubt. Trevor's got the talent, but they got to start hitting on those things.
We used to say the offensive line needed to block long enough for Trevor to unleash the deep ball, right? I think you had that blocking last year. It's just they never got on the same page.
Well, part of it was, and it's both, but part of it was the timing of the throw too, and it was off because, again, I think if you get him moving faster and Trevor feels better about where that timing is, they should hit down the field a lot more. And back to your point, the Buffalo rumors were going around. You know that they called to ask. I mean, what does Josh Allen need? He needs a deep threat. He needs, the Shazier, right? Or Shakir, Keon Coleman. They're seeing what happens with him, but they'd love Brian Thomas added to that weaponry. So you don't think they called? They absolutely
And you'd be
did,
silly to not pick up the phone and listen.
Right.
Gotta listen.
I think you'd be silly to trade him to a team like the Bills, who just beat you in the playoffs.
What if you say there's, like, the receiver group's strong? What if it gets you into the first round and you get a player and you can get one of those receivers? You didn't draft him. So there is something of that in that equation. You know what I mean? But what if we don't have a first-round pick? How do we get one? Well, maybe Brian Thomas can get us one.
If they could get a first and a second, you think they'd ship him off?
I don't know. I don't know. I would think they'd want a first-rounder, but it would have to be where they're, almost, you can't guarantee anything, but you're going to have a good shot at getting the player that you really want. And whether that's replacing Brian Thomas or somebody else, that's what you're giving him. You're giving Brian Thomas to get to a spot to grab somebody that you really want. I don't know if they have one or not.
Right.
I have
and
no
obviously
idea.
the Bills pick is not early in the draft either.
Correct.
So it's not like if you were trading in
You're
there,
getting
you're
a
going
high
to get
pick.
it within that top 15. Yeah. All right. Interesting conversation. We will talk some more when it comes to the Jaguars a little bit later in the show. Don't go anywhere. It's Helmets and Heels, 10 to XL 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Can the Jaguars survive? Garrard's going to run for the first down and a lot more.
1010XL.
Mike Dempsey here for Big Number 1 Duval Ford. Did you know that Duval Ford offers a mobile service that comes to you at home or at work? Get oil changes, filters, battery replacement, recalls, and more with no extra fees. Same dealership quality delivered. Easy online scheduling with live technician tracking. Also available for fleets and commercial. On-site service at your convenience. Contactless payments and paperless invoicing. Serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas, Duval Ford. Schedule your next service at DuvalFord.com.
It's a Helmets and Heels Friday, enhanced by Bowden Eye and Associates.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Strong in the classroom, gifted on the field.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists celebrate scholar athletes. Wednesday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Activated by
The Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
We love talking sports on 1010XL, and I-9 Sports loves giving kids the perfect way to grow up playing the game. Spring and summer registration going on right now. Log on to i9sports.com to see all they've got to offer for kids ages 3 and up. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay. Sign up now for spring and summer. Great new locations added like Tofoy Creek High School and Westside Middle. Get your kids in the game with I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount at i9sports.com.
Create a backyard your family will love. Jack's Outdoor Solutions, an authorized dealer of Celebrity Greens, installs PGA quality artificial turf golf greens and complete outdoor spaces. From turf to custom hardscapes, landscaping, and lighting, every project is built for style, durability, and family fun. Locally owned and trusted across Northeast Florida, customers rave about their results. Check their 5-star reviews on Google. Plan your dream backyard today at jacksoutdoorsolutions.com.
the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Let's get ready to rumble. This Saturday is the River City Rumble. UNF men's basketball welcomes JU to CSI Company's court at UNF Arena. It's a rivalry like no other as JU crosses town to UNF. Be there for one of the biggest sporting events in the city this Saturday at 6. Secure your seats at UNFospreys.com/buy tickets now. UNFospreys.com/buy tickets now. Swoop.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and if you check out their showroom in the month of March, you're going to see some really cool rides.
We do. We've got this all-new Euro motorcycle going to be on display one day. We're having some demos the next day. Here with Sullivan, she's got some more detail.
March 11th, come down to Cycles of Jacksonville. We'll have the static day where you can see all of the machines. And then March 12th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we have demo rides. Come test drive your new Euro.
These things are cool. I've never seen it yet. All new Euro motorcycles. You're not going to want to miss it.
Check out Cycles of Jacksonville Facebook and Instagram.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Ahead of free agency opening up in March, there's been a trade within the AFC South. The New York Jets have traded defensive end Jermaine Johnson to the Tennessee Titans in exchange for Titans defensive tackle Tavondre Sweat. Heading up to New York, Johnson was the first-round pick out of Florida State in 2022. Was a Pro Bowler for the Jets in 2023. It's 68 degrees at 3:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Time now for a little Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
We'll get to the things that I have in Lauren's Lane in a second. But first, I need to talk to Tom McManus about his heavy bag and Taylor Dahl about the movie Scream. Obviously, no spoilers, but tell people how the heavy bag is going.
Phenomenal. It changes your life. It's so great.
I love it.
It's so great. And you're done in like 20 minutes. Like I did a workout this morning. I did 14 rounds of 45 seconds on, 20 seconds rest. You got to focus on some breathing because you do get winded. But you're whacking the heck out of it. You're moving around. It's just early in the morning. Just a great way to start the day. That's what I really like about it. It's like if you're a runner, go out for a run for an hour and it just gives you that jolt of, the endorphins. It settles you down. It's good for your brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead of running, I like hitting the bag.
Yeah. Anytime
Fun.
I'm frustrated, I'll do a kickboxing workout. I don't have a heavy bag. I just picture people's faces.
You shadow box or shadow kick.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I will box and kick. Punch and kick their face. I'm just kidding. Not really.
Try to do it in intervals, see it, and just don't count because it's hard to count while you're breathing.
I take classes online.
Oh, you do?
Do it.
Oh, you do? Like Taebo?
I used to do Taebo a long time ago. Put that CD in my computer.
Oh, I remember that. My mom had those DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
She did.
Those were.
That's right.
There was always this one chick that could do everything perfect at like the front of the class, and she would annoy me so much because like her kicks would be higher and whatnot. But yeah, I do a class by a woman named Amy. Body Fit by Amy is what it is.
Okay, cool.
And ever since COVID, I stopped going to the gym, and I haven't gone back. And I just do those classes at home.
Yeah.
And she does everything from body weight, like kickboxing, to with weights, but she's more dumbbells and kettlebells, not like a bench.
Well, just throwing it out there for people that maybe you just like to be able to get a full cardiovascular workout in 20 minutes, like you're done. I'm telling you, drenched in sweat, you're breathing heavy, you feel great. It's a great addition to your home if you can, or to go to a gym that has one.
Sure.
So it's such a great workout.
I did take a class one time. It was like a kickboxing class with the heavy bag, and I thought I was going to die. It was so hard.
Yeah, it's great.
Props to you. And
So
the
much
Scream last night, we're not going to give any spoilers away.
I don't want to ruin
Did
it
you
for
go?
anybody. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
I
did?
went last night.
yeah.
She has a
yeah.
Scream t-shirt.
I got my Scream cup if you're watching the stream.
Scream cup
Do they still
and
wear
Scream
the same
t-shirt.
thing?
Oh yeah, it's the same ghost face.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really good though. I love Screams. All of them have been my favorite movie. The first one came out when I was 5, and my mom let me watch scary movies, probably way too young. But I saw Scream 2 in theaters at 7 years old, and so since then they've been my favorite movies. And it was very good and tying 1 through 4, so it had a lot of throwbacks to things that happened in 1 through 4. It kind of linked into modernization, which is one of the good things about Scream. If you've ever seen the Scream movies, they're really good at tying in what is happening right now and like the world and culture and the technology of movies and like how people are absorbing information and watching videos and shows and all of that stuff. And so it's the most recent of like 2026. This is how people are taking in their content now. And so it ties into that, which has some loops and turns of you trying to figure out what's real and fake and all of that type of stuff. But it was really good. And it had kind of almost, it felt like the bow on the movie. Like it kind of felt like the ending, like they were trying to finally close it. because in this one, Nev Campbell, who plays Sydney, who's been the main character since the first one, has a daughter now, and she named her daughter Tatum, who was from the first one. This isn't in, they show it in the commercial, but her Tatum was her best friend in the first movie, so it was like, oh, she named her daughter after her high school best friend who died in the first one. But then it's kind of like her daughter, she's like passing the torch on to her daughter in a way in this movie, and so it was kind of, it felt like the end. You know, who knows? Maybe in another 5 years, they're like, oh, now it's Tatum's turn to do all of this. I don't know if they have a plan for that. But it did feel like they were trying to put a bow on the movie.
I like when they do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They did it with Rocky. Like I think it was Rocky Balboa. At the end, he just turns and waves to the crowd. And I swear, I was like, see you, Rock. You were great. I will miss you.
I was like crying. I was like tearing up a little bit at the end because it was a little emotional moment that happened. And I was like, man, that movie came out when I was 5 years old, and now I'm 35. So 30 years of my life have been Scream movies and watching Sydney grow up and all of these characters develop and all of that stuff. So
how old was she in the first one?
So they were in high school in the first one. So I don't know like her real age, because obviously actors and whatever. But in high school they were. So I'd guess 17.
Yeah. She's good in that Lincoln Lawyer.
She is, she's a good actress. I love her.
She is.
She was 23 in the original
real
Scream,
age,
playing a high schooler. It's funny how they do that.
Yeah, they did that a lot back then. Like you go back and you watch like movies and shows from the 90s, and they were supposed to be 16. I'm like, that person was 30.
Yeah, right.
That did not add up.
I know. Why were you trying to trick us? Why not just find someone that's that age? All right, so what came into Lawrence Lane, having a conversation with my husband, Brian, earlier this week, and he was so nonchalant. He was like, yeah, so he owns his own landscape company. So he's out working. And he's like, yeah, and there was an alligator, so, I had to kind of stay away. And I thought he meant like a small, very small alligator, the way he was saying it. And I was like, how big was this alligator? And he's like, oh, like 6 feet.
Oh.
I was like, yes, you were near a 6-foot alligator? He's like, well, I'm on the mower, so it's like,
I can mow him.
Yeah, but he's like,
run him over.
I was like, but did you tell the homeowners? And he was like, oh, yeah, I told them they probably need to call and have that alligator, transplanted somewhere else. But
does Terminex do that?
They got to add to the mix.
No, I know there are a lot of like alligator wrestlers around the state. I don't know if Jacksonville has a ton, but I'm sure with all the ponds that we have a pond out back here at 1010, and I look to see if there's an alligator before I get out of my car every time.
I remember there was the guy, it went viral. The video here was like on the highway, and the guy got out of his car and like wrestled the alligator.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the most Florida thing I've ever seen.
I tell you, true story. I was playing at Coughlin's J-Fun tournament. Was at Marsh Landing.
Okay.
And had my own cart, and I was with my foursome, and we teed off. And I saw this really old guy. He must have been in his 70s, short little guy, comes over, like walking across the fairway with a fishing pole. So I got like, my ADD kicked in. I was like, hey, I'm going to go see what this guy's up to. Anyway, he pulls in and like an 8-foot alligator all by himself. And then he tapes it up. And I felt bad. I'm like, do you want to put him in the cart? And he literally put him under our feet. Now, Landon, his feet were taped up. I'm not kidding. His mouth was all taped up, and he didn't go crazy, but we got him over there, and he literally picked that thing up and threw it in the dang truck, and off he went. And I was like, I came home and told Christina, I was like, that was unbelievable. From Chicago, like I've never seen that before in my life. That was unreal. He just reeled it in and got on top of it and then taped it up, and it was unreal.
Some people are
not the
braver
life for
than
me.
others.
No. No.
I don't like the big
trapper.
lizards, let alone the alligators.
Brian has an uncle that does shoot alligators, like goes out and hunts alligators. And has the tag
license
and
for
everything.
it.
Yeah. So there are people that they enjoy it and whatnot.
When we first moved in our old house, I saw a snake. And again, being from Chicago, I didn't know what to do. I called Loggeman. I'm like, Logs, what do I do? He's like, do you have boots on? I'm like, no. He's like, go get some boots. And you got a shotgun? I'm like, no. He's like, go find one or something. You gotta shoot those things. Yeah. It's a moccasin or something. Yeah, it was scary. Yeah.
Wear your boots and where's your shotgun? That sounds like Jeff Loggeman.
Yeah, that's all you need, a little chaw.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember last year there was I would consider it too big of an alligator to be at the Players Championship. It was on the bank.
I remember that.
There, as you're walking kind of towards 18. And I was like, I don't think that belongs here this week.
Yeah.
But didn't seem to harm anybody.
Yeah, I think those ones especially are used to just people being around because they live at the golf course and they're like, "Oh, hey, Tom, how you hitting
just saw
today?"
some gator tail is pretty tasty. You could probably feed a lot of people with gator tail.
I love
he
gator
does.
tail.
Brian's uncle does, I know for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
So maybe because they multiply like crazy. Like let's add them up, like get more. Like feed the homeless.
The gator.
Yeah.
You all get gator tail.
Yeah, have gator tail. I don't know. I've tasted it's good.
I heard Jeff Prosser sharing a story the other morning about the new lizard that they've found in Florida. It's called the Nile monitor lizard. This thing is terrifying. I heard him talk about it, but it can
the dark
grow,
brown ones?
Yeah, well, it's like a dark. I don't even know how to explain it, but they can grow up to 7 feet long. So they're large, semi-aquatic, carnivorous lizards. Established in Lee and Palm Beach counties is where they're
Carnivorous
going.
lizards?
Apparently, they're were pets. Like, people had them as pets, but they are dangerous pets, and they're not very tameable. And then so people have started now releasing them into the wild, and they're crazy looking. If you go Google it, it's huge, and they're ugly. Yeah. So I think the closest one it said so far, I want to say there was Daytona or something, not too far. It hasn't been to Jacksonville though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Puerto Rico, they have iguanas. That's the closest I can think to that. All right, more to do on the other side. We will actually also talk some men's basketball. You are listening to Helmets and Heels 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Greenlaw Group Studios. Feel the weight of tradition in every swing. 1010XL is your radio home for the Players' Championship with live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Shillington Creek Pest Control,
Jack's Outdoor Solutions,
and Firehouse Subs.
What Major League Baseball player has the most stolen bases in his career?
Just letting your homeowner's insurance renew each year may cost you money. Shop around and you may find a better plan. Let Southern Oak Insurance give you an option at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Oakland A's outfielder Ricky Henderson stole 1,406 bases during his career, including 130 in 1982.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
It's a Helmets and Heels
Bowden Iron Associates
Friday.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
David Garrard here, and once again, I'm reporting good news about how good my knees are doing following PRP treatment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. For an old quarterback like me, my knees are in great shape.
You don't have to be a celebrity or a professional athlete to appreciate the everyday personal attention you'll receive at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For any orthopedic need, call on the pros at SOS.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jacksonville, it's official. Men's professional soccer is back with the USL Championship. Your Sporting Jacks Pro Soccer Club kicks off its historic first men's season on March 7th, bringing fast, physical, world-class soccer back to the First Coast. This is more than a new pro sports team. It's world-class soccer played on a national and international stage. Be there from the very beginning. Season tickets with seats starting at just $10 per match. On sale now at sportingjacks.com. Sporting Jacks. Pro Soccer, Pro Jacks.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are two important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The two-stage coating application, sure, but nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds?
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous, gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
So we have the Rumble tonight, the Rumble tomorrow night, and women's basketball tonight, men's basketball tomorrow night. And I feel like for the men's basketball side of things, it's getting heated up a little bit because both teams won last night. JU beat Stetson 89-85, and Hayden Wood led the team in scoring in 25 points. He's a freshman, by the way. UNF beat Florida Gulf Coast 76-70, thanks to Cameron Orioles' 26 points. So, like I said, get to JU tonight for the women's game, get to UNF tomorrow night for the men's game. In the past, the River City Rumble has sold out at both gymnasiums, so it'll be interesting to see if it's sold out tomorrow night.
It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to going. Us three are going to go and have some fun and watch a little college hoop.
That's right.
You know, in a rivalry game, divisional game. We know how that feels in football. They feel the same way in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's to them. This is like the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You know, it's a playoff game for both sides. It's going to be, hopefully, I want to see a little scrappy play. You know, no fights, but just a little scrappiness. You know, a little bit of extra.
Here's my question: who do we root for? Like, who do I cheer for every basket? Because
Yes, there you go.
Oh my
Exactly. Exactly.
The fans around you are going to be
what
like,
is happening?
I thought this girl knew sports. You have to pick a team. No, I think it's a good question. UNF is hosting us, is having us, so they would like us, I'm sure, to cheer for the Ospreys.
Yes.
But I also know, obviously, a lot of the JU people. I know Coach Jordan Mincy. I know the athletic director, Alex Ricker-Gilbert, and a lot of the staff members there. Scott Manzi, who calls the games. I have friends on both sides, so I think it's a tough question. But yeah, I would say UNF, if they're listening right now, they're going to say
cheer the great
you need
plays.
to pick the Ospreys. I've told y'all that a lot of the Jags players have been in the past, the last couple seasons, and they don't really cheer, other than for big plays.
Yeah,
they just
like
kind
someone
of
does
observe.
a dunk or hits a big three or something.
I'm a cheerer, though. I don't
So
watch
cheer
sports
for
without
both.
being like,
Yeah, I always root for
cheer for both.
something or
Yeah.
someone.
Maybe we
some
just
team.
make some bets on it, and it'll get all three of us interested in something in it. We each pick a player or something.
Okay. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Bring your cash, girls. Bring your cash. Straight cash, homie.
That's right. By the way, you can hear that game tomorrow night on 1010 a.m. and the AM stream beginning at 5:45 with the pregame coverage. So if you can't make it out to UNF Arena, but you want to listen to the game, you can hear it right here on the Superstation. And then at 8:30 tomorrow night, Florida takes on, plays host to Arkansas.
Wow.
So huge matchup there.
Yep.
And you can hear that game right here on the Superstation 92.5 FM with tip beginning at 8 p.m. But I'm already nervous about that one.
I was going to say, does any team out remaining on their schedule concern you at all? I mean, every game that, I know how that goes, but
Sure, at
anybody?
Kentucky and
Okay.
obviously, Arkansas Saturday.
Yeah. All right.
tomorrow night.
Cool. Getting into the nitty gritty. I love it.
It's one of those things, like, people probably forget that John Calipari left Kentucky to go to Arkansas. So there's that extra, like, Todd Golden and Florida know him and his personality well.
Yeah. He's had a great career.
He has.
Right.
Hopefully Todd Golden's going to eclipse that.
Yeah.
Starts
Hopefully.
passing it.
Yeah.
So what happens when it comes to, because I know we were talking about the rankings, and Arkansas is what are they ranked?
No, they're lower. They're
They're
like
lower?
12th
high
or
as Florida.
14th or something like that. I thought you said when Florida was 7, I think they were around 14.
14, okay.
Yeah, yeah, just behind
I don't
them.
care about those rankings.
No, right.
20th. Arkansas's 20th in the
20th,
country.
okay.
Yeah. I just know, like I said, we're top 10 at this point in time.
Yeah.
But
That'll be a great crowd.
it will
I mean,
be
that energy will be
sold out.
unbelievable.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, that's when it gets really good, right? Getting down to the
That
wire.
arena is
Need
so much
these
fun.
wins. Need to stack them.
Mm-hmm.
Go into the tournament. Feeling really good, confident. Be fun to watch. Hope they go on a run.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, like
But-
last year. That was fun.
It
was a
fun.
blast.
That was
a
fun
good
to
time.
watch. I mean, as a guy that doesn't really, that we got into it. It was fun. It was
And
fun.
every first half felt like they were going to lose. Like I felt every
In the tournament.
I was like, here we go.
Yeah,
Once
yeah,
they hit the
right.
tourney, and I was like, man, okay, never mind. Here goes Walter Clayton
Yep.
for 27
Knocking
points
him
in the
down.
second half.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because in the regular season, that's not how it
No.
went. And then this regular season, they haven't had a lot of close games, obviously, like beating all these SEC teams by double-digit points.
Yeah.
So when it comes time to a close game, if that happens tomorrow night, then it'll
See
be
how they
interesting.
come down to that.
Yeah, because that's when all the pressure's on the free throw shooter,
Mhm.
right? Like Florida hasn't been in that type of situation in a while.
Yeah.
Mhm. How are they at the line? They pretty good?
Some guys are better than others. How's
yeah.
that?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
as a team, are they like 80s?
I would
You
say
have to look
I
up.
would
I'm
say
just curious.
below that.
Below?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to get that up. 80's
Yeah, in the tournament.
I mean, you got to hit 8 out of 10, don't you? 7 out of 10?
You'd like that.
I mean, of course, I know, but I'm just statistically.
71.1%.
Okay.
But
yeah, you got to
still,
get that up a bit.
If your guards get to the line, you expect your guards to make it.
9 and 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly.
I remember last year going into the tournament because, like you said, there was a lot of games. Like a lot of the question was when there are close games, are Florida going to be able to pull out of them because they really hadn't been battle tested late in games, and they proved obviously last year that they were able to do that. And I think the other night, that's what I was saying in that game the other night when they had to kind of have that. Todd Golden had to have his halftime talk and come in. Maybe they needed that to see if they were able to be down and not just be winning by 20 points at half and coast through the second half. And they proved they were able to do it at least in that game. So it gives you some confidence at least heading into the tournament that if it comes down to that, you'll be able to handle it.
Yeah, that just the halftime speech and then turning it around and getting it done in the second half, that'll build some metal for the team. You know what I mean? I'll give them some good foundation.
They were playing sloppy defense early.
Right.
The refs weren't great.
Tighten it up.
Like we talked about. But I will say last year, Florida had that clutch play, right? That clutch. When you needed a shot, it was Walter Clayton Jr. You put the ball in his hand. And he wasn't the only one that was clutch throughout the regular season. Will Richard had times. Elijah Martin had times. But you could always trust that your guards would come through, especially Walter Clayton Jr. They don't have that type of player other than Urban Klobuchar is the best shooter. But in the heat of the moment and at the end of a game in a tournament, I don't know that you want the ball in Urban's hands.
Yeah.
I mean, you do shooting wise, but he's not the best defensively.
Yeah.
Whereas Walter Clayton Jr. was great
both.
both.
Right,
So that's
both
why
sides.
that's why it makes me obviously nervous now thinking about what's going to happen but what I think they would do is the opposite of last year. You'll have Boogie Flynn send the ball into one of the big guys, and then they're going to try and score points in the paint, whether it's Chinny Lee or Alex Condon.
Well, and last year it almost felt in times like it's okay because Walter can do it in the second half. Like one of the games, I think he had 0 points in the first half, and then the whole second half was all Walter Clayton. So you almost had that confidence that if you were like, it's fine because Walter Clayton's going to turn on in the second half and you'll be good.
Yeah,
if
you
you're
can
not
trust
as
him.
confident in having that, then yes, your defense and those rebounding and those things come in more important early on in the game, and they saw that obviously in this closer game this last time.
Yeah, inside outside, right? You got to
Inside outside USA.
That's right.
That's the
By the way, we
if
have
you can't get
another.
it done on the outside, you dish it inside, right?
Yep.
Let the
Yeah.
big guys go to work.
We have another 43.5 vertical guy.
Ooh.
D'Angelo Pons, the corner out of Indiana.
Oh yeah,
just hit a 43.5.
He just declared for the draft, didn't he? Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah,
that guy stood out in the tournament for sure.
And that's an incredible jump for sure. All right, local college baseball. JU is at UAB for a 3-game series. Their first pitch in the first game was at 3:00, so that game is underway. UNF plays host to Presbyterian for a 3-game series beginning tonight at 6:05. Number 10 Florida takes on number 17 Miami down in Coral Gables for a 3-game series that begins tonight, 7 p.m. first pitch. And it will all be on ACC Network tonight, but the other 2 games won't be on ACC Network. They'll be on ACC Network Extra, which is annoying. But either way, if you're wondering, tonight on the mound for Florida, Liam Peterson, and then for Miami, AJ Scissor is what you've got. And
Scissors.
I thought about that too. Florida, by the way, under Sully, Kevin O'Sullivan, has 43 victories over Miami in 62 meetings, including an 18-9 road record. And finally, number 21. Go ahead.
And real quick, because on that, Florida obviously is 9-1, and Miami hasn't lost this year.
Right.
Ooh.
So that's a
Florida
juicy
lost
one.
its first game and hasn't lost since, and then Miami is undefeated. FSU not undefeated at this point in time. They're ranked 21st in the country. FSU plays host to Citadel. There was supposed to be a game tonight, but that got moved to tomorrow. It'll be a doubleheader tomorrow because of inclement weather, which we're all certainly well aware of. Yeah, here in the Jacksonville FLA area. All right, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. RJ Saunders, what you got on Open Gym?
The face of the NBA, who's it supposed to be? We're winding down on the era of LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. Doesn't seem to me that we know who's going to be the next guy carrying that mantle, or
Not
do
Bronny.
we? Also talking to Dante Marcatelli about the Orlando Magic. They'll be welcoming in the Detroit Pistons into town on Sunday. And also, is L.A. the final resting place for LeBron James in his farewell tour, or will he have a new place to call home in what many believe is his final year coming next year? So all that and more on Open Gym.
What do you hope for, like with LeBron? You want him to play, or is he done?
Get off my team. Get out of LA. That's just my opinion. I think if he's going to do a farewell tour,
goes back to Cleveland.
I understand that many would like to believe that Cleveland would be the place. I'm not of that mindset. I don't think he's going to go back to Cleveland. But
when Luka became a Laker, like everyone thought that was like the dream team almost, right? Hasn't worked out.
I would like to think that many people did. I wasn't one of those guys. Okay. I think LeBron wanted to, as the reports would say, always wanted to play with Luka Doncic. But I think, you have three guys on that team who do a lot of the same things, both on and off the ball. They need the ball in their hand to do something. If they don't have the ball, there's not a lot of movement going on between the other two. So, yeah, I think it's a project that, not necessarily is going to work out. If you're really saying that you're all in on the future of Luka, well, time is ticking. I mean, I understand he's only 27 years old, but time is ticking on his career. Time's going to be ticking in terms of how open you feel like your window is going to be. So you may not like it. I mean, but thank LeBron for, could have been some really dark times in LA. I mean, with Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, you would have been doing the whole rebuilding thing. LeBron kind of takes you out of that dark place, gets you a NBA championship, albeit during COVID and in the bubble. But now you got a guy in which you're saying you can build your entire team around at least for the next half decade or so. So I think you need to get the ball rolling on that sooner than later. LeBron James can.
There you go.
He's a Lakers fan, not a big LeBron fan, which is interesting.
Well, you think the big stars together, you're going to
doesn't always work like that, as you know.
Doesn't always happen.
Doesn't always work that way. All right, salary cap. We found out today that the salary cap in 2026, we had heard that it was going to be a little over $300 million, and it was officially announced today, $301.2 million for each team. So where do the Jaguars stand after the increase in cap? Still $15 million, almost $16 million in the red.
In the red, still
red,
with the new numbers.
With the new numbers, So they're going to have to restructure some guys.
A lot.
Yeah. At least you aren't.
Some anyway.
Who was it at the very bottom? Oh, the Dallas Cowboys. It's like $56 million in the negative.
Vikings negative 45 million, and then the Jags are the third.
So they're going to tag.
And then the Tennessee Titans, by the way, have like 95,
almost 95 million.
Dallas tagged Pickens.
Yes.
That whole thing goes to this year. So, and they're 59 underneath.
Yeah, unless they work out a deal. And
right, a long term deal, right, and then it brings it down, right.
Yeah, money ahead.
They defer it like the Dodgers.
Nobody does it better.
I will. So, just looking at these numbers, it's crazy though. So, in 1994, the salary cap per club was $34,608.
What was it?
I'm sorry, 34 million.
Okay.
So, 34 million to 301 million. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
Since 1994.
Which honestly, I'm a little surprised that it hasn't skyrocketed that honestly more because of the fact, look at the valuations of like the team when Shad bought it in 2012. But what if we took the valuation of the Jaguars in 1995 and then what it's valued at now? That increase is far more exponential than that increase.
I think Wayne bought it for like 190 from what I remember.
190 million.
Yes.
Okay.
In 1995. And then he sold it for like 760, I think.
Yes.
And now,
so now it's worth like $7 billion. So that
it's compounding.
That gap to me is not nearly as big as the gap from going from 34 million to 300 million. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It almost should be more like 800 million, I feel like.
Well, I know.
Well, that's baseball.
I saw that too. In 99, it was $57 million, and now it's 6 times greater.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And then they want all these extra amenities for the families and stuff.
Those grades got better here in Jacksonville.
They
and that may be the last time you ever see them since they're not getting released to the public. All right, the golden moment awaits on the other side. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010X on 92.5 FM.
From the Queen Law Group Studios.
Helmets and Heels.
Your home for Florida Gators basketball is 1010XL.
The SEC's top teams tangle in the swamp for a tournament tune-up. Florida, Arkansas. Tomorrow night at 8 on 1010XL.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground, and if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong, and we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Helmets and Heels Friday
is brightened by Bowden Iron Associates.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For honest, professional locksmith service, use Instant Keys.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
The Purple Heart isn't just a name. It represents service, discipline, and earning trust. At Purple Heart Pools, that standard shows up most in pool renovations. If your pool is outdated or worn down, now's the time to upgrade. So when summer arrives, your pool is ready. From new finishes and tile to decking, lighting, and full transformations, every upgrade is handled with precision and attention to detail. Purple Heart Pools. Pool renovations done right.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order Logo coffee mugs or maybe a logoed stick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Covering the First Coast and ready to help when you need it. That's Rebound Rehabilitation. With a dozen locations, they're easy to get to and they'll get you back in the game. Sports injury, workers' comp case, or auto accidents, you name it, they can help. Check out reboundrehab.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
As we are wrapping up some of the combine talk and other things that have been going on, I saw something on Twitter today, and this is kind of relative a little bit to this, but more so the recruiting world that we have also talked a ton about recently. So the college transfer portal Twitter posted a video, and so football recruits are now figuring out how to use AI to fabricate fake highlight plays.
Oh.
So somebody, there's a certain kid who has now been figured out that his videos are fake. He has a whole highlight reel of himself in high school, but he AI'd them to make them look like incredible throws and plays and all of these things happen. So We live in a world
Beware.
where, just be a little careful out there, guys, when you're looking for your
Unbelievable.
recruits.
And now there's gonna be like totally fake people in general. Here's my highlight reel, and they don't even exist.
Well, we've had
At
fake
all.
people, i.e., the former Notre Dame player Manti Te'o.
Well, he was real.
Yeah,
No, I
he
mean,
was real.
He was very real.
He for sure, but the person
that was made up by someone, and that was 2012,
Right.
The beginning of faking and creating a person.
So wild. By the way, we have the fastest so far, the fastest 40 time at the combine, 4:36 by Toriano Pride Jr.
Out of
Mizzou.
Yeah, out of Missouri. So
I saw.
I love the fast
Luther Burden
guys.
was talking about him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're a DB, man, you got to have makeup speed, and having a 4.3 time will definitely classify you as that. You know, you got to be.
What would you have run a 40 if you had gone to the combine?
Oh, terrible! Probably like a 4.9.
Okay.
Yeah, I never was really fast. With the Jags, I ran a 4.8 on grass, like 4.80.
Okay.
So that was okay for 250 pounds. I was quicker than flat out fast, but I was not fast at all. My dad, my father used to say, like, when we'd be watching film at home, he'd be like, if they get outside here, maybe you should just trip and fall down. So you don't look so slow.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That is the research that I kind of pointed out yesterday with the interior defensive lineman and what position or what drill or measurement kind of factors into each position. I didn't get to safety and corner. The main reason, number one, we spent a lot of time on those interior defensive linemen and edge, but those ones, they're pretty much like, don't pay attention to the combine if you're trying to draft a corner or a safety, because none of the evaluations between NFL draft value and the position cost, if you were basing it off of weight, arm, the 40, broad, vertical, 3-cone shuttle, any of that stuff has correlated. I will say the closest is the broad jump and vertical are the two closest that has been like even in what somebody that the draft position cost and what the value has been. So they were pretty much like, don't just go watch the film and, watch the people actually in a game, number one, but also that's another position that's obviously very mental when it comes to the focus on things. It says the importance of coverage. So the athleticism is important, but there's bigger value in instinct, study, and scheme fit.
Yeah. I mean, look, just because you can run a 4.3 or 4.4 in a straight line doesn't mean you can cover anybody in the National Football. It just means you're fast. And do you have the instincts? That's the one thing you can't measure unless you watch the film. The film will show you what kind of instincts they have, or if you go to practice and watch, or you're at the game and you can actually see it. But you can't measure instinct at the combine.
No, not at all. By the way, Devin Lloyd ran a 4.66 40 at the scouting combine in 2022. Foye Oluokun ran a 4.48 40 at his pro day in 2018.
That's flying.
Yeah, super fast. But like you said, that's not the most important thing by any means. But it's so easy to compare 40 times, right? Like everyone always knows like how good or how a good 40 time is. It's like 4.4 or better is like the best, obviously.
Yeah.
Bashal Tootin was one of the fastest, I think the fastest at the
4.32.
combine last year, which is impressive.
Yeah, and the slower you get, they look at the 10-yard splits, because then they're like, well, how fast can he get off the line of scrimmage? Maybe he's just, if he's 6'4", 320, not going to run a great 40, but his 10-yard split's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Then you're like, all right, this guy can move in short spaces pretty quickly. I think the 20-yard shuttle is good for the backers. Where you go 5, 10, 5, because you got to do change of direction. You got to stay low. You got to sprint out of your cut and that type of thing. That's
like a suicide.
That's a good one.
At
Yeah.
least that's what we called it. I don't know if that's what they still call it.
In basketball? I don't, do they? Probably not in today's day and age.
That's why I said that. I don't know.
We used to run those like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
me too. I hated those things.
Yeah.
Because you have to start from the baseline and then go all the way to the
That was
other
the
side
full
and back.
one, right? You
go
to
start the line,
free throw line, back, half court back, other free throw, then right?
Yep.
And then I always liked the end to end. Those were my because then you didn't have to stop and go back, just run down and run back. It was funny. My freshman year in high school, I played basketball, and the varsity football coach was the coach for the freshman basketball team. And all we did was lift and run. We barely played any basketball.
We used to do a conditioning exercise. I forget the name of it now, but you'd have everybody in a single file line, and the person from the back would have, and you'd all be running Indian run.
Yeah.
I don't know if they call
Can
it
you
that.
say that anymore today? You might not be able to.
All our exercises are gone.
At least just the names of
We
them.
used to
I'm
play
sure they're
this
supposed to
game.
do
I
it.
just can't say the name of it.
Right.
But someone comes from the back up to the front. It just keeps going.
That was torture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
that
was
a good
torture. I didn't like that.
We
one.
also had to do in soccer, we would have to run the full 100 yards of the field, and the slowest person, whatever their time was, like that had to be beat. So whoever was the slowest had to beat their time the next time. And if they didn't, then you ran again and again and again. And so it was like, I was never the fastest, but I was also never the slowest. I felt so bad for the slow people.
Go ahead.
Do they still do they had like the presidential
physical
fitness
yeah,
thing?
I think
Do
so.
they still do that?
I don't know. We had it.
Yeah, we had it.
Sure,
but that's why I'm like, I don't know if they do anymore because I don't know if they focus as much as like you need to. I know, that's what I'm saying. Like
Probably
you
not.
can if you want, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Type of situation. Like we had to do. Like everybody, poor kids who could care less about running, were having to compete against kids who were like playing sports on a daily basis.
That's when I realized how non-flexible I was the presidential physical
You'd have to like the toe touch, but it would like
yep.
be beyond your toes because you'd have to reach that little thing.
Yeah.
I loved that
The
one.
pull-ups, on the other hand, I crushed.
Yeah, we're opposite on this.
How about the rope? Could you climb the rope up to the ceiling?
Mhm.
Yeah, could you?
Yeah.
could.
I did gymnastics when I was younger. So
Yeah,
that
okay.
part, But there was a boy that also did gymnastics in my class. And so the competition for pull-ups wise was between the two of us. So I had to beat him.
Yeah.
But it was easier. We didn't have to do the full all
Chin
the
up.
way hang. Yeah, we just did the chin up.
Yeah. That's all right. It's still good.
Exactly. Still good is right. All right, pest of the day on the other side. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 10 to Nix on 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Green Law Group Studios.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. If you're looking for the best selection of trucks in Jacksonville, it's truck time at Big Number 1 Duval Ford. They've got Jacksonville's largest lineup of brand new trucks with massive discounts. Over $10,000 off select models. That's right, savings you won't find anywhere else. Your next truck is waiting for you at Big Number 1 Duval Ford, so visit DuvalFord.com or stop by 1616 Cassett Avenue today. It's truck time at Duval Ford.
Bowden Iron Associates.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Fred Taylor. If you've been in an auto accident, you need a team who knows how to get you back on your feet and back to your life. At North Florida Medical Center, they don't just treat the injury, they treat the whole person, from physical therapy to pain management. North Florida Medical Center has a team of experts ready to help you heal and recover. I trust the team here at North Florida Medical Center, and you can too. So don't wait. Call North Florida Medical Center and get the care you deserve.
The Jacksonville Icemen are in town for a pair of games this Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, it's Military Night, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships, as we honor our military, and the Icemen wear special themed jerseys. Then Sunday at 3, it's a Publix Family Fun Day. Take a shot on goal on the ice after the game. Tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksonvilleIcemen.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Iceman hockey is #Sub-Zero.
At the First Coast YMCA, there's no place like this place, with programs and experiences that will bring your whole family together. Summer will be here before we know it, and Y Summer Day Camp registration is now open. Visit your local Y to secure your child's spot early for a season full of memories and adventure. Don't delay. Day camps will fill up. There's no place like this place, so visit your local Y to sign up or online at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here from the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, black and redfish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, their regular menu where you get
crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and of course, Julington Creek Road.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Underwood has completed 75 years in business, and now you are starting your next 75 years. If you were going to simplify things, what is the single most important thing in Underwood's history, and what will be the most important thing in your future?
Frank, that's simple. Our honesty and integrity. You know, our founder, H.F. Underwood's favorite saying was, know the truth and tell the truth. That's why we're the longest-standing member of the American Gem Society in Florida. Because we know you have to have the knowledge about gemstones before you can tell the truth about them. That's why we continue to educate our staff through the Gemological Institute of America and the American Gem Society. In fact, today, Underwoods has the largest American Gem Society credentialed staff of professionals east of the Mississippi River. So come by and see why we're looking forward to the next 75 years and let one of our experts assist you.
That's at Underwoods, serving excellence since 1928. In San Marco, Avondale, the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Taylor Gall, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this rainy Friday afternoon. Time now for today's Pest of the Day is always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They do a fantastic job taking care of our house as well as Everbank Stadium, VyStar Ballpark, VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. By the way, speaking of that, I saw that Liam Cohen and his wife went to see Nate Bargatze last night.
Oh, they did.
At VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena.
Cool.
Yeah,
See, we told you he was good.
That's right.
Liam and Nate.
Yes, got a picture with him as well.
That's
So,
awesome.
Very, very cool.
Yep.
The Pest, by the way, this just because it hits close to home for me, my gymnastics meet tonight at Texas Women's University against Texas Women's, Arizona State, and Fisk is on something called Flow College. Flow College. I have one of the best gymnastics teams in the country. Well, I don't, but Florida does. Top 5, obviously. And I don't know what Flow College is. Can't we just have like one of the million channels that we have on TV?
Oh, the channel is
The
Flow. I didn't even know the
yeah, I
word
didn't
you
know
were
what you were talking
saying.
That's because y'all don't look at the gymnastics
Flow
schedule
College.
and see what channel your gymnastics meets on. Last week, SEC Network, fine. Before that, ESPN2, great. And I understand that's because those are SEC teams versus SEC teams and all that jazz. But still, like, back when Florida had a quad meet earlier in the season, SEC Network Plus, I can live with that. That's fine. I know how to stream.
Yeah.
But
So
Flow
how do you
College,
get
I don't
Flow-
know.
how do you-
Yeah, how
I
do you
don't
get it?
know. I
Oh, you
don't.
don't even
I
know
really
that.
have no
App.
idea.
That's got to be an app.
You can't even click on anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Flow
But
College app.
I mean, you can click on where it says watch, and it takes me to Flow College, the website. But that's going to ruin my Pest of the Day. So I don't really.
We can't.
I don't-
Flow Sports.
Yeah, I'm
live
complaining.
college sports, exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage, plus access to 20+ other sports.
I'm probably going to have
Never
to
even
pay
heard
for
about
this.
it. Probably.
As it says, sign
Yeah,
up.
$8.99 a month.
See, like that's not fair.
Which
I don't like it.
It's been a problem. So I saw actually something, this is kind of on that same exact topic, because we talked a little bit last year about how all the different games now, it's like, oh, there's an Amazon game and there's Peacock and like all of this different stuff you have to get. So the FCC now is investigating, I was reading this, they're investigating the relationship between the NFL and all the different streaming services because they estimate it's going to cost diehard fans $1,500 a year to watch their favorite team in entirety because of all of the different like streaming services you have to have, and a lot of them don't have you get a month, like you know, it's kind of like an ongoing
season,
thing.
right.
Yeah. And so that's a lot of money to spend to watch your team, and so it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I always say I feel like I'm surprised somebody or something, and they've kind of started the beginning of it, like Disney Plus has like Hulu, so you can get like a package where it's like Disney Plus and Hulu and HBO Max or something like that. I can't remember the three. Somebody saying I like some package where it's all of whatever, if they continue this where you have to get 6 different ones to watch the sports. There's one package you get and you pay this outlet and they make a deal with the NFL, you know, whatever the case may be, because someone would still make a lot of money, like the MLB TV type thing, but for all the channels for the football games, you know, because it is getting a little crazy to the point where even streamers, like you have cable, which is fine. And but you don't have, like, you still have to pay for Amazon Prime to see the Prime games, and you still have to pay for those things. And so now this year we had, there was another channel, something else that they did it on this year.
YouTube.
Either Black Friday. Yeah, YouTube TV.
YouTube.
And so it was only on YouTube TV. So it's like, I mean, that
It's
stuff
annoying.
adds up fast.
And it's annoying that you have to it's only on that. You know what I mean? When does it get to be too much? Like how many?
They're making money, so
I know,
therefore
but when does
they're
it get
happy
too
about
much?
it.
I mean,
the NFL knows that they can
don't
put
know.
their product on
People will
any
watch and
platform,
pay.
and people will pay, and that's the problem. Thankfully, that's probably the only sport that can be that selective.
Yeah.
The other sports are like, please watch my
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
I mean, the NBA is like that. Major League Baseball's like that.
I don't know if I'd always pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Depends on the amount.
I've got Prime, Xfinity Prime, but like YouTube TV, I don't have, and I wasn't going to go pay that just to watch that football game. I'll watch the highlights. Now, if it's my team, that
And
might be
people
different.
get around it by having someone else's login and password,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Like
true.
People will
those companies
share.
are naive.
Or you
to
go
think-
out and play. You can watch it out. Most places will have the majority. But even that, some places had to figure that out this year because you had to have the smart TVs that could download Amazon
Right.
Prime to log into the
Right.
Thursday night games. And some places, they were having issues with that. They had to go get new TVs to make sure that you could get that. And so it was a whole hassle for that. Like I know a couple places in town where only like you go in and only like 2 of the TVs can get Amazon Prime because also you can only log into Prime from
Right.
2 TVs most times. So
Right.
you pay for
So
one
complicated.
subscription and it's only 2 TVs. And that's what's even crazier to think about is these restaurants and stuff, the
Right.
amount of money they're probably spending too to make sure they can carry all of the games now. And they have to do it if you have 80 TVs, that's
Yeah.
a lot of subscriptions you have to have.
Does DirecTV still exist, right?
Yeah.
The Sunday Ticket and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that got real expensive. I used to have that
Super
way
expensive.
back. Then it got ridiculous. So it's kind of cool to like close game, especially like November, December, and it had meaning to it. Late afternoon, you could flip over and catch the final 3 minutes. That was cool, but not for the price. Not for the price, in my opinion.
All right, let's say hello to the Frandy Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hey, it's both JU and UNF winners last night, so I feel like the stakes are even higher for tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if JU can get the sweep. But they improved their seating for next week, so that was good to see. But I got to know, how was it?
I knew it was coming. I liked it. And
Yeah.
I've heard that the Rotten Tomatoes hasn't been awesome. I think that's more some of the political stuff that had
Yeah.
happened to me. And I was telling them earlier in the show, it was a perfect tie. You really have to be a diehard because there's a lot of references to 1 through 4.
Oh,
So the 1 through 4 movies were very heavily referenced in it. And there's a lot of, it kind of feels like they're trying to really close it off officially too. But I loved it. The kills were great. There was some really like nasty kills in it.
This is important stuff.
And a lot of very OG feeling jump scares.
Nice.
A lot of them.
Are you
I
going
See, I don't need Rotten Tomatoes, Tom.
Yeah.
I don't need Siskel and Ebert.
No.
I don't need any critics. I just need
Taylor.
Taylor. Golf.
There you
If Taylor liked it, then that's all I need to hear.
Hey, Taylor has a Scream shirt, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
She
Yeah,
has a
she's
Scream
a diehard.
t-shirt.
I would imagine you have more than one, right?
I do actually, and I almost wore it to work, but I was like yesterday, I'm like, there's like blood on it. I don't know. I don't know if that's appropriate. But
Well, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah,
I look
thanks.
forward to seeing
Yeah,
it.
sorry. Tom was asking if you're going tonight.
I am not going. I don't know if I probably won't see it in the theater, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You never
now
know.
they come to the streaming services pretty quickly.
quick,
they
do, yeah.
It's pretty fast, and
Absolutely.
I could see something. We saw it in IMAX, so it was a full experience.
wow.
Yeah.
That's why there was
Trippy.
screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. But yeah, it was good to see UNF and JU get the wins. Huge game tomorrow night in Gainesville, so we'll certainly break down Florida, Arkansas. We'll talk a little bit of the Jags. The Jags had an availability today, kind of, which I'll talk about. It was one of the more peculiar availabilities that we've had, I'd say, since I started covering the team in 2013. It was kind of one of these, like, some of it's going to be on the record and then some of it's going to be off the record, but then it ended up kind of being, I don't know really how to explain it, but I'll share what I am allowed to share.
Okay.
And so we'll talk some Jags coming up.
But
and,
you think you're allowed to share.
well, yeah, it was just, first off, this whole thing got botched anyway, because they should have just had Liam Cohen wasn't even part of it. It was James Gladstone and Tony Baselli. And it was just like maybe like 8 of the media that regularly covers the team. And it was just peculiar because it wasn't the head coach. And I hope moving forward, like now that they've had this week, I don't care about them going to Indianapolis and that, but in terms of at least like having an open line of communication to their fans. I would hope next year it's done a little bit better, because I think it was really puzzling how they handled the whole thing. But anyway, but we'll talk some Jaguars coming up, and we'll get into Gators. So it should be a fun Frangie show. Again, Frank out on vacation. He'll be back Monday. So it'll be me, Hacker, and JJ holding down the fort.
All right.
And we'll have a ton of guests. D-Rock will talk about it as well. He was there. So we'll have D-Rock. We'll have a scholar athlete at 4:20, D-Rock at 4:30, and we'll have Pete Prisco talking NFL and Jags at 5:15.
All right, sounds
Thank you.
good.
Right.
Very interesting is what it sounds like. So we'll certainly be listening. I'm off next week. Little staycation action for me. So thanks to you guys for holding down the fort, and I'll certainly be listening. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These